So we'll create a table today first there are two ways of creating a table. Okay.
Yep.
The first one is called as predefined type, which I'm going to do first. Then we use the other one using data element.
Okay.
Okay. There is some background disturbance from your side, a little disturbance. You're able to see?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Okay. So let's create a table. Let's say this is a vendor table, okay?
Okay, Sanjay, I can only see the log-on pad at the moment.
Okay, just hold on. You're only able to see the login pad.
That's all I can see, yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're able to see now?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So first what we do is we always create a package first.
Yep.
We did this yesterday, right?
We just started, yeah.
So Z mark, I'm going to create it again. Let's say Z mark 1 and click on that create button. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So this will be a demo package where I'll store all your information in this part.
Okay.
So once you provide the short description and say continue, the system will prompt up with a new number, a request number. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Now, do you know these activities?
I do not know.
Oh, this is where the table data or whatever data that you do in SAP will be saved and need to be transported to other systems.
Okay.
This is the way the transport is called as transport organizer.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So whatever that I do, I'll be saving in this request number, which will be the mode of transportation across clients. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Now this information can be seen in SC09. Okay.
Okay.
SC09 is the transaction code where you can see all the information regarding whatever objects that you have created.
Okay. Sorry, which function? Which function was that again? Sorry, Sanjay.
SC09.
NSE09. Yeah. Okay.
Slash in means it goes to the it closes the existing window and opens up with that particular transaction code.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Once you do this, then we do the other one, that is creating our objects. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say we creating a table first with using Z mark underscore vendor. You should not be having a space, but you can have an underscore. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm going to create a vendor table. So since this vendor table is a master table, we have an option called as delivery class, that is application table. Application table defines what type of data are you creating.
Okay.
Okay. Next is an option where the user can have the access to, whether it's within the namespace. That means if it is only for read and write, I'll choose the first option.
Yep.
The second option is for both read and write. The third option is for nothing.
Okay.
Okay. So go to Fields tab, and you always know that the vendor number will be a primary key field. Okay.
Okay.
And these two checkboxes represent that it is a primary key, and every primary key requires a initial value.
Okay.
Initial value means there should be some value associated with that. It should not be empty. That's what it means.
Okay.
Okay. So we have an option called as data element. We have an option called as predefined type. If you click on predefined type, this data element gets deactivated.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this data element is again a user-defined object, which we're going to learn in the next section of the after we finish this.
Okay.
So in data type, I can choose whichever data type I want. Okay. For example, if I take a character, anything in SAP will be converted into a character at last. Okay. That is, even if I take a number, internally that number is represented in the form of a character internally. I mean, these things do happen internally.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll take, let's say, the vendor number length is 10. If you're taking a character data type, the decimal places will always be 0 because it's a character data type.
Yep.
So I do the same for all the fields. So I'll take vendor number as 25 as given up by these specifications. Okay?
Yep.
So these field names are something that you got to normally I mean the naming convention will be identified with these particular fields and not by these. Okay.
Yeah. So, sorry, Sanjay, where's that field name coming from, or are you just making that variable up?
I mean, these things, these are user specific. Again, whatever names you want, you can give it here.
Okay, understand.
Okay.
Yep.
Like SAP has its own field names. In the same way, we are also defining our own field names.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just taking the mandatory fields that are required. If you want to add more, you can add.
Okay, understand. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Once you enter the required fields that you want, what you do is you just click on the save button.
Yep.
Okay. So once here we need to provide the package name that we created in the previous step, ZMark1. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So once I do this, then the table is temporarily stored. It's not stored in the database yet.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the logical structure of the table. We need to make sure that we provide the space to it, physical space. So the physical space of the table is done by technical settings.
Okay.
Okay. So this is where we provide the number of records for the table, how many records we wanted to store. So here we are defining what kind of data are we creating here. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
So this APPL0 means that the vendor table is a master table. Okay.
Yep.
And the size category defines how many records you wanted to store in the table. Let's say for this size category 0, I can store 3100. That is 3100 records I can store.
Yep.
But if you want to have more, you can increase the size category to that much number that you wanted to.
Okay, understand. Yeah.
Click on Save button and click on Back. Once you do this, you can activate this table. Okay. Now once you activate that, then you can just see a warning message. This is not an error. This is just a warning. Okay.
Yep.
If you just click on No, it's fine. But again, if I click on Activate button, again I get the same message. Okay. So to make sure that this message is not displayed to me, there is an option provided by SAP. Now this is called as Enhancement Category.
Okay.
This Enhancement Category defines whether this particular table requires any additional fields or not.
Okay.
At the moment I have only these fields. But tomorrow I might be having a case where I want to add some more fields, right?
Yep.
So in that case, I need to be effective enough to make sure that the new fields can also be added. Okay.
Understand. Yeah.
So instead of by default this not classified button will be there, but you can choose any option other than not classified. Okay.
Okay.
So just click on Can be enhanced and say copy automatically. Next time if I activate the same table, I will not get that warning message. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Understand.
Now my table is ready. I can insert the records. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So to insert the records, you have an option called as Utilities, Table Contents, and Create Entries. This is where I can add new records.
Okay.
Okay. This is like inserting the records into the database.
Sure.
Just like you had in just like you have insert statement in your Oracle database. Okay.
Yep. Understand.
Okay. Let's say we start with your number first. Because it's a character, I can take any alphabet as well as numbers also. Okay.
Okay.
Let's say I'm taking your name. I assume that you're in India. Okay. Please don't get me wrong. Let's say you're in Mumbai. And you're in India. Okay. And just say save.
Okay.
So one record is created. So we are trying to do an entry job now, user entry job. Okay.
Yep.
Once you click on reset, you're creating one more record.
Okay.
So can I give the same number again? Can I give the same number again?
No.
Because if I do that, it will say the key already exists here.
Yep.
Okay. So I need to give another number, which is again unique. So we are just trying to create some dummy records.
Yeah, sure.
So you can create as many records as you want. Okay?
Sure. Oh, up to 3,100, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I created 2 records. I just wanted to see the output. How many records are created? Okay. So what you can do is go to Utilities and say Table Contents and say the Create Entries is for entering a new record, whereas Display is for seeing the output what you have created.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Now this is what we call as a selection screen. A screen where the user can provide the input values for the output. Otherwise, if you want all the records to be displayed, just click on this button, Execute.
Yep.
Otherwise, you can just click on to see how many records are there. It will show you that many records. For example, if you have 2, it will show me 2 records.
Yep.
So if I just click on Execute, you can actually see those records are displayed.
Yep.
If you want to make any changes, you select that particular record and click on this pencil button or change. You can make the changes if required.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, if I make any changes and click on Save button, you can see that the record is being changed. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
So this is the oldest way of creating a table, which is not correct actually.
Oh,
SAP
okay.
doesn't recommend this approach of creating a table, but since this is one of the procedures, I have to tell you this.
No, I understand. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to just see it for a moment, or shall I go for the next topic?
Yeah. Could you just go back to the menu for adding records again? So that's utilities.
Utilities.
Yeah. Then it's table contents.
Table contents and created.
Display. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Yeah. I think that's fine, Sanjay. I think I've pretty much got that.
Okay. Shall we go to the next part?
Yeah. Go for it.
Yes. The next one is how do we create a table using the data element? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, let us see what is a data element. I need to stop my screen again.
Okay.
Okay. You're able to see my screen, right?
I am. Yep.
So there is a particular table called as T001.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this T001 is the table name where all the company's data will be stored. Okay.
Okay.
The company's data, in the sense, this is a table, standard table provided by SAP, where all your company's information will be stored. Okay.
Okay.
Now this table contains, I'm not maintaining any data in this. This is already provided by SAP.
Sure.
There are more than 65,000 tables like this in SAP for the entire database of SAP. We need not do anything. Yeah. That's why SAP SAP applications are created. SAP has approximately, as I said, it is more than 65 or 70. But seeing the version of SAP now, you have more than 1 lakh tables, and all these tables are linked to each other.
Yep.
Okay. So if you compare our example with this example, you can actually see that predefined type is disabled here.
Yep.
So this is what we have done in our example, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to follow the example that we have done in our first session. That is the first part what we have done.
Okay.
The important point is what is called as a data element. Data element again is a reference. So SAP purely works on references only. It doesn't work on direct objects.
Okay.
So you have the first table first, then you have the data element. If you double click on the data element, inside the data element you have the actual characteristics of the particular field.
Okay.
Okay. So these things are not defined by me. These things are already there in the database.
Sure.
Either
Okay.
I have an option to either use this or create your own table.
Yep.
So what am I going to do is I'm going to create a table like this in my example now.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll try to take the same example as what you have done, and let's try to create. Let's say zmark underscore vendor 1. Okay.
Okay.
So vendor table we have 2 approaches in this. The first one is called as the top-down approach, which I'm going to do it now. Then after this, I'll do the other one, that is the bottom-up approach.
Yeah.
So the top-down approach actually works like where you create the table first.
Yeah.
Okay. The other options are the same. Now you take the part of practicing these things. Okay.
Okay.
In the previous example, you must have seen we clicked on this predefined type, which you're not going to do it now.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So since this data element again is a user-defined object, so we need to start the user-defined object with the Z again.
Okay.
So what will I do is I'll just pass on with either a Z or a Y and followed by the field name.
Okay.
Okay. So a data element or any user-defined object provided in SAP has to start with a Z or a Y.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So if I press and enter here, you can actually see that the length and decimal places are 0 and 0.
Yeah.
That means you can also see one more message displayed at the bottom that it is not active.
Okay.
That
Yep.
means the object is not existing.
Yep.
So we need to create this. So what you do,
Okay.
you double click on this and say yes.
Okay.
So this procedure is a little tricky simply because there are too many things that are happening in the navigation. Okay.
Yep.
Just click on yes button here. And say continue. Now you can see there is a pop-up that is displayed which is called as data element not available. So since the data element that we are creating, a Z vendor number is not there in the system, it is
Yep.
showing you that it is not available. Just say click on create the data element and say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So just say provide the short description. So this short description will actually define the field that I'm creating.
Yep.
Okay. So every data element contains what is called as a field label. Field label acts as a reference. Okay.
Yep.
So once I create a data element called Z vendor number, I can reuse it a number of times. So this becomes a reusable object.
Okay.
Okay. So every field label contains 4 parts, that is short, medium, long, and heading.
Right.
So if I need to just provide the field label automatically, you can see the length will be displayed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So depending upon which one you are using on, these things are automatically displayed. So you can see that everything is defined by itself depending upon the field label.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So at least one must be entered. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm going to use the same data element to the domain. A domain again is a user-defined object. So data element acts as a reference from the table to the domain. The domain is something like what is the data type that you're providing? What is the data type that we provided in the previous example? Character, right? CHAR.
Yep.
So this domain again is acting as a reference. Am I clear?
Okay. Yep.
So if I press and enter here, you can see that no active domain available. That means again we have to recreate this.
Okay.
So what you can do is you just double click on this. When you double click on this, again it's going to show me the same kind of a message that it has shown for data element. It said domain not available.
Yep.
So we need to do the same procedure. This is the way that SAP creates the data elements and the domains and all for all the tables.
Okay.
So here I'm going to pass the data type. Either you can type here, otherwise you can select. Okay.
Okay.
And let's say it is number of characters are 10. So whatever number of characters that you provide here, it is directly proportional to the output length. That is 10 here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And just say activate. You click on back button, activate. Every time you make any changes, you need to activate again and again.
Right. Okay.
So you can see automatically that is being displayed. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Now, so if I want to create one more field vendor name, I can also create with the Z. Very much a
Yep.
possibility. But instead of doing everything with a Z, I can use the standard data elements provided by SAP.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So what I can do is, I'll give you the list. I have that notepad document with me. I'll give you the list. So
Okay.
instead of creating all the elements with a Z, what you can do is you can use the standard elements provided by SAP.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So for name, the data element would be name 1.
Okay.
So all these things are internally represented.
Yep.
So you can see that each field contains a field label inside,
Okay.
and each domain again contains the things inside.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So we are just trying to use them.
Sure. Yep. Understand.
So for street in German language, it is called as Strasse.
Yep.
Any signs of city? What do you call in German?
Whew, no chance. What is it?
It is called as Ort. Ort is 01. Ort means it is city.
Okay.
Postal code, PSTLZ. So anything that defines it as Z, it means it is a postal code.
Okay.
And country is land 1.
So these standard data elements, Sanjay,
Yes.
are they primarily German?
Basically, yes. The data elements are primarily German.
I understand.
But,
Okay.
I mean, that's the way it is. SAP was created. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Now again the same procedure. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this takes a little bit of practice. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of navigation required, isn't there? Yeah.
Yes. There's so much of navigation. It looks a little easy, but it's not actually.
No. You, as you say, you have to practice this many times, I think, before you become kind of expert at it.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit more practice.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Only approach this bit with this. The previous one was we used predefined type in the previous example, and here we're using data.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So the same procedure: utilities, table contents, and create entries. The same one. Let's say.
So Sanjay, stupid question.
Please.
You've used that vendor number in the other table we created.
Okay. You can use the same data element in that table also, no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Understand.
That's the only way. That's the best way of using it, because once you create, as I said, it is a reusable object. Once you create, you can use it in n number of tables you wanted to, as long as it is existing in the database.
Yep. Okay.
Am I clear?
Yep.
Was that your question? Can I reuse it for the other table as well?
Yeah, like you say, if the data element exists, it should be usable across all tables.
Across all tables, as long as the data element is active. If the data element is not active, we need to reactivate that particular data element, and then you can reuse it later.
Okay. Yeah. So, another stupid question: will this table autofill? Can you autofill it from the previous table?
You make sure that you don't make any entries in the table, because in real time, what we do is we only create the table, but we don't insert the records.
Okay.
Only for the practice sessions, these things are applicable. When you actually create the table, you only create the table and leave it off.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. You only leave it off. You make sure that at the application level, the data is entered and that is stored in the database, or that is stored in the table.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So you are in Mumbai now.
Well, what's the weather like?
The weather is too hot in Mumbai. Please don't get me wrong, Mark. These kind of things should really happen. Otherwise, it becomes too complicated. Okay.
Sanjay, as we discussed, I am very much a beginner, so any information is useful information to me.
Let me tell you, all information that I'm entering here is purely dummy.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
We are just trying to create some dummy data in the system. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So you can see utilities, table contents, and display.
Yep.
If you want all the records, you click on this execute. Otherwise, if you do remember any record name, record numbers, you can directly enter them here.
Yeah.
You can actually see that particular record is being shown to you.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you actually see the approach we have done, the approach is simple. We created the table first. Inside the table, we have the data element. The data element contains the field label. You provide the field label and press and enter. The length will be displayed automatically.
Yep.
Next, you have the data type. So inside the data element, you have the domain. I made sure that the domain and data element are having the same name. You can have a different name also, very much possibility. But you make sure that I didn't use it differently because you'll have a little bit of confusion if you provide different names.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Inside the domain, you have the data type and the length. Okay. So this approach is called as the top-down approach. Top means the table, down means the domain. In between the top and the down, you have the data element. Am I clear?
Yep.
Okay then. So there's one more approach that is called as bottom-up, which I'm going to take it now.
Okay.
Shall I?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. So in the bottom-up approach, you have the domain first.
Okay.
Okay. The domain is something that we have used in the previous example where we created as Z vendor number, right? You actually see the domain. This is our domain name.
Yep.
So I'm going to start it from here.
Okay.
Okay. So what am I going to do? I'm going to select domain here and just give a name to it. I'm not going to give the same name because the domain is already existing.
Okay.
What I will do is I'll give it a different name. Now and say create. And say 10 characters long. So you're doing the reverse part. Okay?
Yep.
So you actually see that I'm using those shortcuts. The control F3 is for activation.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So once you create the domain, what we do is we assign the domain to the data element. So the data element is part of what we call as data type. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to give the same name of the domain to the data element.
Yep. Okay.
And so create again. So we have three objects in this data types. The first one is called as data element. The second one is called as a structure. The third one is called as a table type.
Okay.
We're going to use the structure in the next example.
Okay.
Okay. Just say data element and say continue. Now do the same procedure as what you have done. Nothing more than that. Only thing is the approach is different. Apart from that, remaining part is the same.
Okay. Yep.
So whichever approach you follow, it is something that you decide. But what SAP always says is the top-down approach is a better one because if you use the top-down approach, you're in the same screen doing all the things.
Okay, so bottom up is the best approach.
Bottom approach is not the best approach. The top one is the best approach.
So top down.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
So I need to provide the data element here. Don't forget to activate every time you make changes.
Yeah. Okay.
And finally, what you do is you select the database table. Just change the name and say create. Now again, this will take a little bit of practice from your side.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it would be Z Wonder number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And use the same fields as what you've done before, the same one. So name 1.
Yeah.
Ot 01.
Yeah.
Postal code. I have to actually see once you once you start practicing, how do you encounter those errors?
Yeah, I think there's going to be many.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that you have errors, because once you have some errors, you'll be learning something, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm here to help you out. Don't worry. Whenever you have any questions to practice or any doubts, any clarifications before the session starts,
yeah,
I'll try to help you out. Before we actually start the session for the next topic, I'll make sure that you have the required practical help from my side. Then we can go on for the sessions later.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Do you have access to the server for practicing, Mark?
I don't know.
Oh.
India has only sent me this link to these sessions so far.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Again, the same one.
Okay.
Well, this time you are in Delhi.
Which is nicer, Delhi or Mumbai?
Mumbai.
Mumbai. Okay. Damn.
It's the financial capital of India, so it is hot and it is a very, very happening city.
Oh wow.
Mumbai is almost like New York.
Oh wow. Jeez. And what's Delhi? Is Delhi kind of
the capital city of India?
Yeah. Okay.
And say display. Okay.
Yeah.
So here we go. The first 2 sessions. Your table creation using predefined type and table creation using top-down approach and bottom-up approach.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I clear so far?
Yeah, as you say, Sanjay, I think the logic is quite clear. It's just understanding, the navigation.
Oh, and yes, you need to actually understand the navigation.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's. Are there any process documents?
Oh yes.
For this.
Oh yes.
Okay, good. And then, like you say, it's just practice.
So you need to practice one hell of a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, shall I go to the next topic, please?
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So there is another thing called as data type. As we have seen, we have worked on data elements, right?
Yep.
But there is something else called as a structure, which we're going to see it now.
Okay.
If you remember the table that we created, you can see this name, street, city, postal code, country, and so on. These fields are common to many tables, right?
Yep.
These fields are common to many tables. So what I do is, instead of creating these fields separately for separate tables, what I do is I can create only one object so that all these fields will be existing as a group.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
will be existing as a group and call this group in the table, which is the best way.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Yep.
this is called as a structure. This is called as a structure. I hope this session is getting recorded. So we'll see how do we create a table. How do we create a structure first and then call it into the table.
Okay.
You can actually see that the structure doesn't contain any data inside. It is going to only act as a reference.
Okay.
Okay. So first what we do is we'll create the structure first. That structure is part of the data type section.
Okay.
We have seen database table. We are going to see what is called as data type. Data type we also seen in our data element section, right?
Yep.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create a dummy structure with all the fields that are required. Now this str is nothing but a structure. You can give any name, but since as I started with Z mark, I'm going to find all the objects with Z mark only.
Okay.
And just say create. Now instead of selecting a data element, I'm going to select a structure here.
Okay.
Okay. I'll say it is a custom structure for demo practice. You can see this component is nothing but the field name, and the component type is nothing but the data element. What all the fields you want, that those fields will be part of the structure here.
Okay.
And make sure that the primary key fields should not be defined here. The primary key fields should exist in the table only.
Right. Okay.
Okay, for example, vendor number, I should not be giving it here because vendor number is a primary key field.
Yeah. Okay. Understand.
So just say, let's say I wanted to give it as name. What is the data element for name? Name 1.
Yeah. Yep.
So what are the common fields that are required? I'm going to pass it on here, and remaining all the fields will be the same.
Yeah.
Now here I'm going at dead speed. I don't have an option. And it's a country. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You can see the difference between this and the table is this doesn't contain any records inside. It's only
Okay.
is only acting as a reference.
Yep.
So this is a runtime object.
Okay.
Okay. So I can call the same structure in the program as well, which you're going to learn in the coming days.
Okay. Yep.
And please don't maintain the enhancement category for the structure. Okay, as you know that as you remember, we have maintained the enhancement category, right?
Yep.
For our table. We went to extras and maintained the enhancement category, right?
Okay.
Don't maintain this for the structure because structure is getting called somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay. So how am I going to use this structure? I'm going to use the structure in the table now. So I select database table here again. I'm going to create one more table for that vendor. Okay.
Yep.
Again the same procedure. Here I'm not going to use any vendor name, street, city, and so on. I'm going to call that structure here.
Yep. Okay.
Just provide dot include in the field name. You can see dot include there.
Yep.
dot include followed by the structure name we created.
Okay.
Z_str.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you
All
double
right.
click on this Z_str, you can actually see that the fields are hidden inside.
Ah, okay.
So you can actually see that these fields are hidden inside.
Yep.
Okay. The remaining steps are still the same. Oh, Mark is in Bangalore now.
What's special about Bengal? That's where all the tigers come from.
No, it's not. It's not Bengal. It's Bangalore.
Oh, Bangalore. Ah, I understand.
Bangalore is the technology city hub of India.
Ah, okay. This is good. I'm learning a lot about India today.
Oh. Now, next time when I create a record, you'll be in Chennai somewhere. So once the database data dictionary is finished, you have traveled all over India. Just execute. Okay, you'll have all the records.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, shall we have a 2 minutes break and come back again?
Yeah, that's a good idea, Sanjay.
Okay. So, yeah, just I'll be back in 2 minutes. We'll start over again.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to you in a couple of minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Hello? Hello?